This week on NintenDomain, we found out what the name is. Nintendo Switch? I didn't see that coming.
Is it okay if I touch the screen?
Tell them about the touchscreen. Welcome to episode 43, our Nintendo Switch episode.
Yeah, this is the Switch episode. This is exciting.
We switched, which is our main topic. So we'll get to that in a bit. I just want to talk a little bit of news before we get there, and we could talk about whatever other games we've been playing before we get to the big topic, which was kind of came out of nowhere. But we'll get to that. One thing I wanted to say before we forget, Breath of Fire on the new 3DS came out today. That's awesome.
Yes. So when you were telling me I was waiting around on Breath of Fire recently, maybe you were right.
Yeah. Well, that's a really good RPG. You should totally play that. I actually don't have it for Wii U yet, so I might just buy it for 3DS and play it on there. Those games were good. The Breath of Fire 1 and 2 for Super Nintendo are good games. I thought about actually doing something about those in the future for our show. Because if I wanted to do a thing that's like, what's a great Super Nintendo RPG that's like not SquareSoft? It was not made by SquareSoft. That would be my vote. Would be Breath of Fire. So those games looked really cool and they're very fun to play. So yeah, that's a great game to have on the 3DS. So you have like two. Well, I guess if you count Zelda, you have three really good RPGs on there. You have Earthbound, Breath of Fire, and Link to the Past. So that's really cool. What was the the train game is on there now too. Spirit Tracks came out today also for Wii U on DS. So that's cool. That's a game that I never actually played all the way through, and I think it's better than Phantom Hourglass. So I'm excited. I was more excited to play that one than Phantom Hourglass.
I feel the opposite, but you
think Phantom Hourglass is better? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the train. I just can't do the train. The train gets on my nerves.
Oh, I like the train. I didn't mind it. I mean, I didn't feel like it was any different than like the draw around the water or whatever. But I mean,
but it is.
It is sort of. But I like the battles that you can do on it. I thought that was fun that he had to fight stuff. And I like that they did away with the dungeon that you have to go to over and over and over again. That was a very annoying part of the first one.
That was.
So they fixed that for sure. So say whatever you will about the transportation, but I thought the train was fun. You never get to pilot a train in Zelda, and Princess Zelda was, I feel like she had more character in that game than she did in any of the other ones. Well, I guess maybe like Skyward Sword. She had a lot of character in that. But she did more. Like, she could possess people because she's a ghost.
She was your buddy.
Yeah, she's your buddy. So I thought that was cool. You get to see more of her, and she talks more, and,
That is cool.
More in the game. So that was a very cool part that I liked.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid release week for the Virtual Console stuff. And then I saw that SteamWorld Heist, which I've been hearing a lot about that game. That's available. Well, it's $15. It's doing the introductory sale price, and then it goes up to $20.
It was. I thought that came out a long time ago. Is it not? Was it not out on 3DS?
Maybe you're thinking of SteamWorld Dig. It's made by the same company.
No, I know the difference. I have SteamWorld Dig, but SteamWorld Heist, I thought, came out for a long time ago. At least it came out for Wii U a long time ago, right? I thought it was already released. I thought people had already played it.
Well, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's just on sale, and that's what I'm confused. But I thought that.
Yeah, no, that
the release thing I looked at said it came out today.
Oh no, that game's been out for a while because it's been reviewed. That got reviewed months ago. But anyway, it's on sale. So if you want to play it, I was not as big of a fan of SteamWorld Dig as everyone else was. So I was kind of hesitant about it. Yeah, SteamWorld Heist came out December 16th of last year, or December 10th of last year on 3DS, 2015.
So maybe it just came out for Wii U.
Is it on Wii U now? It came out for
maybe that's what.
It came out for 3DS in December.
Okay, that's probably what it is. It just came to the Wii U.
Okay, well that makes sense. I didn't know if it came out for both, but I know it's been out for 3DS for a while because it got reviewed. It got reviewed last year, almost a year ago. But I don't know, it's supposed to be cool. It's like a turkey-ish stuff, so I'd probably like it. But SteamWorld Dig wasn't as fun for me as it was for other people, from what I've read.
I thought it was a fun little time waster, but I didn't play that too. I played it for a few days. I think I got it as part of the Humble Bundle or something, so it was really cheap.
I had a hard time getting into SteamWorld Dig. It was fun. Yeah, I played it for a little bit, but I didn't play it all the way through, and I didn't think it was as good as most people thought it was. I don't know. But that's cool. It's on Wii U now, so maybe the heist one is on Wii U, so maybe I'll try that for 15.
Kinda, you said it was turn-based?
Yeah, it's like a turn-based strategy type thing, I guess. Sort of like Fire Emblem, but 2D.
Right, it's like
is what I heard. Yeah, side-scroller turn-based strategy thing.
I think made by the people who made SteamWorld. Dude.
Yeah. So it could be cool. I don't know. I kept like running out of. Maybe I got to the wrong area at the wrong time in the first one, but I kept running into spots that I couldn't get past. Like either I was like underpowered or I'd like run out of like oil for my whatever, and I kind of got stuck, and it stopped being fun, so I didn't play it anymore.
Yeah, running out of oil was the worst part.
Yeah. Even when I upgraded, I felt like I still ran out. And I would still get killed easily, and then you start at the beginning. I don't know. I had a hard time getting into it, but whatever. Is that it for the releases this week, right? For digital? As far as I know, I mean, I'm sure there's some garbage stuff in there, but like Virtual Console.
Yeah.
What have you been playing this week?
I'm trying to wrap up Color Splash. I've made it to, I believe it's the final boss.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I just got there today, and I need to stock up a little better for the battle.
Sure. Well, after the last episode, I said I was going to play it afterwards, and I did. And it started to get to the point where I was getting really, really irritated with the game. I got to that Coliseum part where apparently there's two things you have to do. You have to find this bone for the last boss, which they kind of tell you. You know, they do a bunch of puns about bones. I'm like, okay, I get it. I gotta have the bone. So I go back to the other level and try to find the bone. You know where it was. And they're like, oh, we don't have it. And I'm like, okay. All right. So I go back to the stadium, and I looked online for a minute, and they're like, oh, well, you can, just go and fight the guys, and then you can go get the bone later to fight Iggy. And I'm like, okay. So I go into the Coliseum, and I guess there's a special star hidden in one of the boxes. I didn't even look at the boxes. I just started fighting the guys, and I must have fought like 20 battles at least. I played for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half fighting those dudes.
Oh my gosh.
And I like completely ran out of all my cards and died. And to a game over, and I was like, fuck this game. And I pretty much I rage quit. Like I wanted to throw the disc out the window. I was like, fuck this game.
Yeah, you were texting me about it a little bit.
It really pissed me off. I went back and played it later, and now I beat it, but what the fuck, man? Like I thought that maybe I could actually beat all those guys, You can beat them with the star, but you should be able to beat them regularly. If you're good enough, they should let you do that. You shouldn't only be able to do it with the fucking star. That's another mark against that game. It's annoying,
Well, so I told you last episode that I had to use the internet for the first time. It was for the stadium, and it was that you have to talk to the right person, or you have to trigger the right set of events so you can walk to the left at the beginning. That's where the first time I got stuck, and then I couldn't find the bone, and it turns out you can't. I think you have to trigger the bone appearing
from talking
because
to
you can't
guy.
Because you can't buy it from the squeezer guy anymore.
No, he doesn't have it. That's the first thing I did. Well, I went and I talked to him, and he said he didn't have it. So then I went back to the level where it was, and it's not there either. Where you originally found it? Because you have to use it to find the chain chomp, or you have to use it to get the chain chomp. It's just stuff like that pisses me off about that game. More than the experience points being gone. Just how dumb it is, where it's you have to get this specific thing here at this specific time, otherwise it won't work.
Well, it's going to get to the point where you need more than one thing, and so I really did become highly dependent on just talking to those people in the town over and over again. And
yeah, I mean, I have
up the D-pad a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of stuff that I don't use, and I found the ice pick and whatever the fuck else was there. There's 2 other objects that are in that Coliseum also. Yeah. But I got both those. But yeah, I'm just carrying a bunch of shit that I don't use because I save it for the bosses because I know you got to use it on the boss.
I do wish they had some kind of item storage, you could leave cards in a little box until you needed them later.
Oh yeah, like an interdimensional basket thing, like Resident Evil, where all the boxes, they all exist in the same plane but in different rooms.
Maybe, or even just have it at the card shop like in the other Paper Mario games, because you could just store it in a chest at the shops. Then yeah, I think you could access that from any shops. You're right, but there's only one shop in Color Splash.
Yeah, is there? Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no way to store anything. You can't store items in this game.
No.
Yeah, that's dumb. And I beat one of the Rochambeau temples after that, and basically, you know what they gave me? They gave me a replica of an item I already have. Stupid.
Yep, that's what they do.
Stupid. I was hoping in that last episode I made it sound like, oh yeah, cool, maybe they'll give you some extra power up or some cool stuff, and no, they don't. They just give you a card. They just give you a card that you could have got anywhere.
Basically, what I've learned with those temples at the point in the game I'm at is that they're for you to get a bunch of money really quick so you can buy cards. Because you got some of the later bosses, you need a shit ton of cards.
Oh, okay. Because I have I have a ton of money. I have 30,000 coins in that game because I haven't really, because I haven't really used it. And I understand, if you buy a bunch of already painted cards, it'll probably cost a lot.
Which you're going to want to do because taking the time out to use the green mushroom to get your paint back, you have to do that. You want to learn to do that at the end of your turn, like as the last card you play, because you can't play that and then play paint cards afterwards. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
so you have to use
them.
that on the previous turn.
Yeah, because I've been using it on the first turn and then use the next one. But yeah, if you're completely out of paint, then you can't paint whatever you're gonna put on there. So you have to. I see how that works. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how much patience I have for this game. See if I can actually make it all the way through, or if it goes the way of Sticker Star, where I just play it sometimes every once in a while because I want to beat it and just get pissed off at it again, and then stop playing it for a while.
Well, at this point, I just want to be done with it.
Well, you're closer.
It's fun enough, but I'm sick of it.
Yeah, you're closer than I am.
I've seen everything. I've seen you mentioned the Mario 3 part. I got to play that. Yeah. That part was cool.
Was it cool? I mean, was it worth it?
Yeah. It's aesthetically cool. I mean, I don't think there's much different other than.
Yeah. I mean, it looked cool. It's like, oh, that's cool.
The music's cool.
I played. Last episode we talked about maybe doing an episode about old NES games that we wanted to beat and trying to beat them. And I went back to Metal Storm, and I got a lot farther than I've actually gotten on that before. And their bosses are really cool because all of them kind of have a trick to them. And if you have the specific amount of weapons, you can kill them easily or easier, than you would. So it doesn't feel like the game's super unfair. I mean, it's hard. It is really hard. But I think there's 7 levels, and I've gotten to the 5th boss, the boss at the end of the 5th level. That's as far as I got. So that's farther than I've ever gotten. Like when I played as a kid, I think all I could make it to was the 3rd level. So I made some progress on that. I played that game. And I played the Pokemon demo also. It doesn't seem. I mean, it looks really cool. There's not a lot to do so far. I unlocked a couple items that I can send to the regular game, but it doesn't seem.
I haven't played that. I downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, the Alpha Sapphire demo seemed like it had more stuff to do than this one. Because you could come back and keep playing that one and get more items 5 or 6 times. And I played this one twice, and I've only found 2 things to do. And I don't know. And maybe I'm not looking in the right spots. But it feels like there's just a town area, and then there's a sort of open world area that you can only do a couple things in, and you can't buy anything because all the marts are closed, and you only get one Pokemon. So it doesn't seem like there's as much stuff as the Alpha Sapphire demo. But it looks cool. I've seen three Pokemon or whatever. So that's what I've been playing, and I played more Dragon Quest VII, of course, because that's my go-to.
I've got a new set of faceplates in the mail for my new 3DS.
Yeah,
decided waiting on those. I ordered it from Japan, so I'm not supposed to get them until next month sometime probably.
Yeah, sometimes it comes quicker than they say though. I ordered a bunch of Amiibo from Japan, and it did take that long to get here. Back when I was doing that,
I ended up buying the ones that I didn't want to buy for $25 when they were in the Nintendo store. I said, no, that's too much. I don't want to buy them. Then they weren't available the next day, and then I had my regrets. So I looked, and I found them on eBay for $30. So I ended up paying more than I would have paid if I had bought them when I first won.
The Amiibos or Amiibo?
No, the faceplates.
Oh, you bought them for $30?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of them?
It's just one set.
It's just one set for $30?
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? The Hanafuda one?
Yeah, it's the Hanafuda one.
Yeah.
Some of them, if you look, you can see some of those faceplates go for hundreds of bucks now.
Yeah. I wouldn't pay $30 for faceplates. But they must. But I don't know. I don't know what the price on those normally are. I figured they'd be $5 or $10 at the most. 30 seems a bit.
Well, there are some there. There are some that are that cheap, but when you want the cooler looking ones, you pay more for that.
Sure.
Then there's ones that are made out of wood. You have to pay more for.
Did you have you bought any games this week? This is something we should do on the show. Is talk about games because we buy games all the time, like old games.
I haven't actually bought any old games this week. I've only bought the faceplates.
Oh, okay. Because I texted you about it, but I found Tales of Symphonia for $10 at a used game store that's normally fairly pricey. So I thought that was a good deal. So I picked that up.
That is a good deal. Is it complete?
Yeah, it's in the box with the manual.
Nice.
So it's in the complete box. Disc looks really nice. No scratches on it.
I only played a second of it just because I wanted to see if it worked, and it seemed really weird.
Yeah, I didn't play any of it. I just put it in the system and watched the opening cinematic and just to see if it worked. But yeah, I haven't played the actual game yet. But it looks really pretty. It looks a lot like the other one,
Yeah, just a little more polished because it's one system up.
But a JRPG for $10 is pretty good because most of those games are pretty pricey.
Nice, man.
Yeah, so
we'll have to do something about the Symphonia games since we both have them one of these days.
I have both of them.
Do I?
Yeah. Even though I had fun with that first game, but I told you before that I thought it was too easy. Which some people said it was harder, but it got, I don't know. Maybe my guys were just over leveled or something, but I felt like all of I just basically used the 2 sword guy and just held up on the C button, and he would do this flip move that would kill everybody. And that was my impressions of most of that game. But it had some cool stories. I liked the guy who wore the handcuffs that like kicked with his feet. I thought he was a neat character.
Oh yeah.
Because isn't he like ashamed of something that he did, and he like wears the handcuffs because of that? You know, it's like one of those like comic book type stories, you know, that I like.
Looks like a guy that'd be in a fighting game, like a Capcom versus.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like Balrog, that just punches.
I think there is. I don't know. I think I remember some character having handcuffs, but they were like just dangling off his hands or something.
Oh, you mean Cody?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cody from Final Fight has handcuffs. But he broke out. Or no, he is still cuffed. You're right. Yeah, Cody is still cuffed, and he kicks because he broke out of prison. I always thought he had such a funny story for Street Fighter Alpha 3, because it's basically like, you know, because he was in Final Fight 1, and then he wasn't in any of the other ones because he was just like a character that they added when they took Guy out for whatever reason. So he wasn't in the original arcade, but he was in the Super Nintendo version. And the story in Street Fighter Alpha 3 was that he beat Final Fight, like he went through and he fought all the guys, and he felt like there was something missing in his life, so he just started fighting random people that like weren't bad guys, so he got put in jail. And then he broke out of jail, and now he's in the game. It's basically what the story was, that he had this like fight lust that he wanted to fight anybody, and he eventually got caught for it and sent to jail. I thought that was funny. But yeah, Cody was one of my guys. I liked him. He could like throw tornadoes somehow, even though he still has cuffs on. But they were cuffs that were like had a long chain, so he could like still kind of move. But yeah, he was cool. He was one of my, like, him and Dudley were my Street Fighter Alpha 3 guys, which you can get that on Game Boy Advance, which is a really good version. The Game Boy Advance one has a ton of extra guys that you can unlock on it, which is very cool.
And it's pixel perfect.
Yeah, and it looks nice. It looks very nice. Like Breath of Fire. Which, yeah, I think I'm going to get that. I think I'm going to get the 3DS one and play it on there. That'll be really cool. They need more. If they would put more like Super Nintendo RPGs on 3DS, I would totally get them and play them, because that's a great place to. That's where I've been playing all my RPGs lately, because of Dragon Quest games. But Breath of Fire is a cool game. I played through it. I played through it on the Wii when it was re-released, but I'll play it again. It was fun. It was a fun game. Like I said, it's got cool characters and had like a day and night mechanic to it, and I thought all the sprites looked really nice, so you should definitely get that one. Well, do you want to go to get to the topic, get to the main Mega Bomb
speaking
drop?
of taking the games on the go.
Why don't we switch? Here, hold on. Let's take a break, and then we'll switch to the topic.
Alrighty.
So, are you ready to switch to Nintendo? Well, we don't have to switch to Nintendo. We're a Nintendo podcast. We already talk about Nintendo constantly. We play old Nintendo systems constantly. So, but yeah, out of nowhere, well, some Twitter person said that it was coming out tomorrow, which I didn't believe. What's her name?
Emily Rogers.
Yeah, I thought she was full of shit. Like, if you look at some of her old predictions, like read her Wii U stuff. There's a lot of shit that never came out for that. Like, she said that, what was it? Soul Calibur 5 was like on there, and like some other shit that like never. And they were supposed to have all this third party support that was never there, and some other physical things that weren't on there. So I didn't really. I mean, at this point, if you've read any of the like subreddit or like the Facebook boards or anything like that, you know that basically every single week has been like, I hear there's going to be NX news this week.
So this kind of came out of nowhere, but it really didn't, because, like you're saying, we have until March for them to announce something, so it just becomes more and more likely every day.
The closer you get to it, it's like, oh, it's probably going to happen, and then eventually it happened.
And they decided to ride on the coattails of the debates. I don't know if that was really what they were doing.
Right on the coattails of the debates. I don't think it had anything to do with the debates.
I don't either, but it's still kind of funny that.
Even though I did see a guy online that made like a bunch of like pictures with the Mario like peeking through the shower, like of him like interrupting the debates, and there's another one of him like scaring like the
moderator.
I forget what her name is. The girl from The Shining, and he's like poking his head out, and she's like, olive oil.
Oh, Shelley.
Yeah. There's like one of her scaring her, and there's like the girl from Psycho, like another one of those, and I thought that was funny.
That was a pretty creepy picture they put up for their Twitter.
Yeah, because it's like he's like peeking at you through the shower curtain. It's like, I don't know.
He really is. Like, it's like some white tile behind him. It looks like he's either in a hospital or a bathroom, which either way is creepy.
Yeah, he's like gonna stab you in the shower or fireball you.
Or he actually just watched the Nintendo Switch get born in the maternity ward. And that's what he's speaking in that.
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way to put it.
But he doesn't have his blue, he doesn't have that like blue hat thing that you have to wear when
yeah. He's like, it's a baby. It's a baby Nintendo. You take it on the go.
He's like that guy from the sitcoms that always runs in like during the delivery and like, oh my god, and then runs out. It's every sitcom that has a group of friends and one of them's having a baby. Like,
the one that's like late or whatever. I don't know.
Someone inevitably runs in to help, and then like, oh god, I wish I hadn't done that. I think that's kind of what I see Mario as, the Chandler.
Chandler.
And I think what is Rachel give birth. I'm gonna liken this to Friends.
Don't bring Friends into our podcast. I hate that show. It show's awful.
You didn't tell me it was gonna be that way.
Didn't tell you what that I didn't like Friends. Or you didn't tell me that you were going to bring Friends into the podcast.
I was just saying the lyrics from the song.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
the only thing I like about that was the Weird Al song, the "I'll Repair for You," which is the parody of that opening song. But
so how crazy
news.
This was? Yeah.
So it basically
how crazy this looks like what we kind of like talked about, what we thought. Really.
Yeah, it's very much what they said it was going to be, like from all the leaks. Somewhat, you have some sort of weird yin-yang thing going on where like the controller sticks are opposite, which I don't know how I feel about that, but I'll have to play it and see. I always liked having them level, like either having them both down or both up.
I think the reason for that is when you look at how the buttons are oriented, it's so that they're the same when they're used as separate controllers.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, for when you separate it, which I'm wondering, like I think the idea of it is cool, I'm like, okay, cool. I like the idea of... I mean, this is an idea that I came up with years ago, back in the GameCube days. I always thought, I was like, wouldn't it be cool, like when you had like the Game Boy Advance attachment stuff with the GameCube. I was always like, hopefully someday there'll be a game where you can play it at home, and then you'll like take it on a portable thing and play it wherever, and then take it back and then play it at home, and it'll all be the same save. That's been something I've been dreaming about for a while, and PlayStation kind of tried to do it, but didn't really take off with Vita. And supposedly it didn't really work that well either, so... If they can actually make it work, then, more power to them.
Well, there's literally more power in the console. I'm sure of it because it's so much newer.
Well, that's the main question is like how much more powerful than the Wii U is it?
And what's the battery life going to be like? That's an important thing, especially when you're using two controllers,
probably not good. Yeah.
Two wireless controllers with it on the go.
Yeah,
with that huge screen. It looks like about a 7-inch screen, probably, if I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked pretty big. It's definitely not portable. You're not going to be able to put it in your pocket, I don't think. But today's the days where people bring like tablets with them, so I guess they weren't really worried about that. Skyrim's on there. I mean, that's cool for anyone who for anyone who likes that game. I don't like that game, but I mean, the idea of having a game like that portable is pretty rad because it's never happened before.
Nope, other than like laptops, of course, but
laptops, but that's not really portable. I mean, it is, but it's not.
When I saw it, I was like, well, when I saw it, I recognized it in the video the first time I watched it, and in my head I just couldn't like accept it. I was like, that's just some fake, that's just something they made like a tech demo that looks like Skyrim.
Yeah, I thought it was a tech demo too when I saw it. I was like, that's just a generic first person thing.
It's definitely Skyrim because Bethesda is one of their supporters or one of the third parties that's supporting it.
But Skyrim is still, I mean, that's still a last generation game. Like I want to see
that is a 5-year-old game.
Yeah, I wanted to see a new game on there, like a game from like this generation. Like Bethesda, okay, Bethesda's on their thing. What if you showed it running like Doom, like the new Doom? I'd be like, oh shit, that's awesome because I like that game. And that's a game that came out this generation.
Well, here's the deal.
For PlayStation 4,
They did make a remastered Skyrim
and it's
PS4,
coming out
Xbox One.
Yeah, they did.
So if it is that version then it's technically a current gen game.
It is, but it's not, but still it doesn't show you something that could only be handled by the newer systems. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to see. Oh, right.
It does not.
And so it doesn't prove that it's as powerful as like PS4 or the Xbox One, which is what people really, really want to know is like what's under the hood.
I looked at the controller up close Well, the controller is like customizable depending on the scenario, which is definitely a harkening back to the Wii, the original Wii. But it has this really, really, really tiny control pad at the top of one of the sides. Did you see that? A little plus control pad.
Oh,
it's
I figured that was plus. That was the plus button because there's a minus on the other side too in the same area.
Oh, do you think it's just one button that has a plus shape?
No, it's the plus button. Like the start button became plus, remember? During the Wii days?
Right, but it's actually shaped like a plus.
Yeah, but it's the plus button. That's what I think. That's start and select. Because they're on the other side in the same area.
That would make
sense. A very small button that's a minus. So that's the start and select buttons are up there on the top.
Okay.
I guess what I figured that is.
Because it's actually shaped like a D-pad sticking out.
Yeah, but there's a minus on the other side. So it's the select and start button. It's just shaped like a D-pad.
Oh.
Did you notice that there's a camera in there? What looks like a camera? There's like two holes. Like one of them's either there's either two cameras or there's a camera and a microphone in the. Okay. Did you see in the actual controller thing? There's a little square that has a hole that what looks like a camera, which would make sense.
I think this is the next step up from the Wii U. Logically, it makes sense. Everyone said, it's great that I can play on the screen, but I can't take it with me. Well, now you can.
Yeah. No, they're basically doing. And it has the dock. You put it in the dock, which I guess.
I like that the screen turns off when you put it in the dock. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I guess it'll charge it while it's in there, and it would be a way that you connect to the internet, like through a wire. I'm sure they should have that in there. I was wondering. I was talking to Jess about this on the way home, and I was like, "What about Of course, my questions are like, what's the power? What about what about storage? Like, what's storage going on here? Like, can you hook an external drive to the dock, maybe, and you can have more stuff through that? Or I
noticed it had USB ports on it.
Yeah. Well, there's a cartridge slot, but is there like an SD card slot also for you to upgrade memory for on the go? I just want to be able to download games on it, which they're gonna keep doing that. It'd be stupid not to, to get rid of the eShop and all that. I'm for sure that's going to be on there. But what are our options for storage? Is like one of my big questions about it.
And it was that in the video, it looked like he put a cartridge into it, or like a game card, like a physical.
Yeah, no, he did put a cartridge.
So was that actually a physical game, or was that an SD card that had stuff on it that he put in?
Oh, I was under the impression that it was an actual game.
Most likely it is. I don't think they would have shown. And at this point in time, no one's going to be using a full-size SD card, which is about the size it was.
I like how they hammered home what the name of it is, too. It probably says Nintendo Switch about 10 times in that video.
Well, so I saw this video, I'm sitting there waiting. I'm refreshing the YouTube page, and it's not appearing. I thought there'd be a live stream, but there wasn't. So it wasn't showing up on Twitch as a live stream or on YouTube. So I just kept refreshing it, and, at exactly 9 a.m., it pops up. First look at the Nintendo Switch. So, it didn't have that same magic to it where I, learned the name at the end of the trailer, not knowing what to expect. It said the name right there, which I thought was kind of a little bit of a buzz, but it's still they want to make it clear what the name of this thing is this time
exactly
around. I think they're smart to rebrand it. I think Switch is a great one-word title for the new system, and it describes what it does. It rhymes with Twitch. Everyone loves Twitch, so that's good for them too.
That's what I was wondering about with those cameras on the controller.
Does it let you use Twitch on Switch? I hope so.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there should be some sort of capture thing in there, right? There has to be. I really hope that I want them to continue the whole Miiverse, but make it faster. Make it work better. Make it to where you can capture video and you can talk over the video and stuff like that. Make it like it's running at all times so you don't have to. I like using it and I like posting stuff to it. I just wish it wasn't as slow.
Give us video chat.
You should be able to just do it. Yeah.
Wii U trailer.
Yeah.
The very first reveal of the Wii U had a video chat.
Oh yeah, it did. And we tried to do that.
There was a whole video about that too.
Yeah, Jess and I tried to do that with her brother because he has a Wii U and we could never get it to work. I tried to do the video chat. Jesse tried to call me too when he had a Wii U through the video chat, and we just couldn't. It would never work. It would never connect. We could never get it to work.
So let's hope they've got things in better shape. If you remember with the Wii U, there's a huge download you had to do, which wasn't in later models. But if you got a first generation Wii U, you had to download this huge file before it would even work.
Oh, really?
I remember it taking hours and people being really upset about it. So let's just hope this thing's ready to rock and ready to go as soon as you get it out of the box. I think that's going to be important.
Sure.
If these games are as huge as other current gen offerings, yeah, you're right. It's going to have serious memory solution, especially if you're going to be able to have multiple games with you on the go, or you're only going to be able to play one game at a time to go.
Yeah. So
is it going to accept 3DS cartridges? I mean, I don't know how that would work unless you flipped it around and then use the controllers. But one thing that I did not see once in this entire video was someone touched the screen. So I'm really curious: is the touch screen gone?
I really don't think that it can be gone. Like I don't think they're gonna go back on that. It's the same thing.
Why wasn't there even like one instance of someone touching the screen in this whole video?
Well, in the original Wii U video, was there a video of anybody swinging the gamepad around? I mean, you can do it, but they didn't show that.
They showed it. They showed it being used as like
They probably showed it for like
they showed motion control with it.
Yeah, because that's how I felt about it.
They showed a baseball game where you could. I just watched it today, just because I was waiting for the other one to shut. So I watched the Wii U reveal video. Yeah, and it had like the picture on one screen, and you were holding it up to there. And then I remember one of the things they showed was the internet. Like you would hold your pad up to the TV screen, and you could zoom in on the page of what was displayed on the TV on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Which you can't do. The browser's like slow as sin.
It's not that bad. I mean, I've watched trailers and stuff on there through that, or like IGN videos. Like I've watched their like guides, like they like videos on how to like if I'm playing a game, I'll go into the online mode and like I'm stuck, I'll go look it up and then I can look at a video of it and then I come back. Like I did a lot of that when the system first came out, looking at online.
Well,
stuff.
It works. It just doesn't work that well.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was slow or like slower than I guess. I mean, my technology is not like super top of the line, so I don't know.
This is 5 years newer, so I just really hope it's got crazy. Look, so it's an NVIDIA processor.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
there's been some specs released online. I don't really understand much about it. But one thing I did see, supposedly that it may have like 6 gigs of RAM, which is pretty nice for a portable. That's pretty high. That's more than most phones and stuff have nowadays. So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
It does sound like it's a more current gen chip that's going into it, but it is a mobile processor. It's a custom mobile processor.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was betting money, I would put money on there being a touchscreen though. I'd be very, very surprised if they took that away. Because like I said, with the motion control thing,
fast touch, not resistive.
I figured it's like on one of those spec things that I saw, I don't know if it's true or not, it said that that the screen's a multi-touch screen, like the iPhone. But that could be incorrect. You know, I don't know where those specs came from, but stuff I saw online said that it had it. But who knows? But like I said, it feels like the same way as the Wii. Like the Wii controllers were motion control. And then it was kind of integrated in everything, but nobody really knew about it, but it's there, you know. Like with 3DS, it's in 3DS, but they don't really advertise that it's in 3DS, but it's there. You know, I feel like this is kind of the same thing. There's still a touchscreen, but it's not a big deal. It's not going to be really reliant on it, but it's there in case you want to use it, you know, for whatever.
We saw they didn't show any sort of like UI or anything, so that's where you would see the touchscreen being used, I would think. And all they showed was
like a menu or something.
Yeah, all they showed were actual like games already running and then switching back and forth, which is important.
Yeah, of course. Well, let's talk about the games that they showed. Aside from Skyrim, we already talked about Skyrim, but yeah, there's a new Mario on there that kind of looks like Super Mario Sunshine.
It does look like Sunshine. It's got a very tropical kind of look to it. It also looks a little corny. I don't think it looks like a finished game. It kind of looks like something.
Well, sure. I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure they showed whatever they had for it. It also looked like what you were saying for Paper Mario. It's looks like a corridor. You know, it looks like they're just running straight and you can't go anywhere else. Is what that video showed of him just running and buildings on each side of him. Before I forget about it, since we're talking about Mario Sunshine, I just want to mention I want to know what the triggers are like. Are there analog triggers on there? Because they better have made them analog triggers, because then you can finally do GameCube Virtual Console stuff. You know. What do you think the triggers on the controller are? Like, there's two, right?
There's two. So little.
There's two right and left buttons, right, on the top.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I looked at like zoomed in on it. So.
There should be an analog one and there should be a regular one. There should be a regular one for like Super Nintendo style stuff.
Well,
and then there should be analog for GameCube. Is what I think.
I don't know. Yin-yang, as you described it, the yin yang sort of like way that the D-pad or the control sticks are.
Yeah.
Look at a GameCube controller. That's the way that is.
Yeah, so, it is. No, it is yin yang.
Let's hope maybe this is harkening back to the GameCube setup that a lot of people have said was their best controller ever.
Yeah. No, you're right on that. Where it had the opposite. It had the opposite joysticks, where like the C button was lower and the other joystick was higher. So it is, yeah, it is kind of like that. But you said did that to make them the same, but the R buttons aren't going to be the same. The L and R buttons will be on different sides for each one. You know, the shoulder buttons, because the one on the left, the shoulder button's going to be by the stick, and on the other one, the shoulder buttons will be by the buttons.
I'd have to look at a picture of it. I thought the way I figured it out, and I don't know why.
In order for it to be the same, there would have to be a shoulder button on the bottom of the right side of the controller. Do you understand?
Which wouldn't work.
Which you wouldn't use. So you probably don't use those trigger buttons. Or maybe you do, and you just have to do it the other way. I don't know.
Well, I'm looking at a picture of the controller right now, so I see what you're saying. It would be on the opposite side.
Yeah, they won't mirror each other in that way.
It's probably a minimal use controller, or maybe there's a game where you just point click with that, and then it wouldn't matter the orientation you held.
Yeah, maybe.
The pack of gum-sized controller. Does this have an infrared light bar on the top of it? You do like the pointer controls, like with the Wiimote?
I don't know. It might, because if you notice, when you put the thing in the charging dock, the top of it sticks out. Did you notice that? It doesn't fully fit in there. So maybe that is a pointer thing. I figured that the little controllers that they have, they're going to use that for like Mario Party and stuff like that. You're going to use those little ones that attach off the side, and then you basically have little Wiimotes. They're basically going to replace the Wiimotes.
I thought it was funny. Someone online right after the video, I was on Reddit or I was on something, and one person's comment was, "I already lost my." What are they called? Joypads. I already lost one of my joypads.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah.
Because, the joke being, he doesn't even have it yet, and he already knows he's going to lose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, Jess and I were talking about that on the way home, and she said...
Or you're going to be like, someone else was like, I'm trying to get on the plane. Where's the other controller? I can only find one of them. Where's the right side?
Yeah. Jess was saying that they need to put some sort of ping thing on there to help you find it. Because, they're definitely going to get lost in your couch. But it has as long as you keep it attached to the controller attachment, which was on there, as you see that. So I guess that's probably what's going to come in the box, right? So that plastic thing with the handles, you're going to clip that on there.
It looks like you may be able to keep the controllers on the control pad when you put it in the dock too, because it's open on both sides.
Oh, sure.
So maybe they can just stay on there all the time, and then you can use a Pro controller.
Yeah, they showed Pro controllers in the thing also, that you can get a different controller that looks like a regular controller that doesn't have snap off things.
Yeah, which I think that you're going to probably, if I were guessing, you're going to get everything that's in this picture. You go to the eShop, you're going to get dock, pad, and then you're going to get the shell controller that you slide the pieces onto.
Yeah, you're going to get that.
Pro controller, you're going to have to buy separate.
Yeah, but I think that you're going to be able to buy another controller holder thing that comes with two sides, in case you want to have like a 4-player game with those side parts. I'm sure there's going to be something where you have to buy more of those. Because that's when it's going to work for the Mario Party stuff.
Maybe they'll actually let you use multiple gamepads with a system if someone brings their tablet over. Or is it going to be treated like a portable where everyone just has to have their own Nintendo Switch to play multiplayer games?
Oh, yeah. I hope not. I hope there's still like single... I hope there's still couch co-op, because that's like my favorite stuff to play. If you have somebody to play that with you, it's always good to have co-op stuff.
So what do you think? Does this signal, is Nintendo taking one last bow at the home console generation, and this is going to be the last non-handheld? You think maybe that's what's happening here? We're seeing the last console
of Nintendo?
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually heard some talk before the video was revealed, saying that there'll be different versions of this in the future. But this will be the first one. But there might be one that's just all console. I don't know.
They'll just do hardware revisions with it, like they've been doing with the DS.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. They said that there'll be more of them. Well, they didn't say it. Some person online said that there'll be more. That there'll be different versions in the past in the future. But this is the other one.
How durable is this thing going to be if it's supposed to be?
I don't know. What about, do you think it's going to be Bluetooth compatible? Probably not. Because if you notice when the guy's on the plane, he's wearing headphones, and you can't, and they try to hide the cord to make it look like it's Bluetooth, but there's also a headphone plug coming right out of the top of it. So
yeah.
I think
got a cord that lays in his lap.
Yeah, I figured that they would take that out for price. But there was a new Mario Kart game in there that was shown for a second. There was a new Splatoon on there because the characters had different haircuts. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, and the Mario Kart had multiple items.
Multiple items also, yeah, 2 item slots.
Looked like double
and Boo. And Boo was on there. So that's cool. I mean, if it comes out with a Mario Kart, awesome. I love Mario Kart. That'd be a great thing. If they could get all those games out of the gate, I think it'd be really, especially if they had something like Skyrim, that people would actually play that on the go. And maybe some people would wait for it since it's a re-release, I guess. I know it's supposed to come out next month for the regular systems, but...
One thing I noticed was, the girls playing Mario, and then her friends call her out to the sweet rooftop party. So she takes the game with her, and she goes to the rooftop, and she disconnects the controllers and hands them to her friends. So I can only assume they're playing Mario somehow with those little tiny controllers.
Yeah, they're playing. It's made it look like you can play a 2-player game on that little tiny screen together.
So I wonder what was happening in the Mario game. Was there some kind of multiplayer mode, or are they just playing the adventure with Luigi? Or is it be like 3D World where you can have multiple characters on the screen at once?
Yeah, I don't know.
If that kind of corny looking thing was a real glimpse of the new Mario game, or if it was just a placeholder like we've seen in the past with like Zelda and stuff when they've shown early consoles. Like oftentimes we'll see like a Zelda looking thing, which was in the Wii U video also, which you'll never actually see, come to fruition.
Oh yeah. The
Zelda thing
where he fought the spider, the big spider. Yeah.
And then same with the 64 when they had that thing where he fought the Stalfos.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Well, and there's also the GameCube one too. Don't forget about that. There's also a GameCube video of him fighting a realistic Ganon, which never happened either. I mean, I guess it's sort of Twilight Princess, but this was the very beginning of GameCube.
So there's definitely a lot of speculation. I have a feeling we'll have more to say about this in the future.
Oh, well, sure. Now that they've actually shown some stuff.
This is like the whole time we've been doing this podcast, I've been thinking to myself, man, I wish if I had one ability to look in the future, I would just look at a podcast from the future. Just the title of it, because then I would know what the fuck this NX thing is going to be called.
Yeah.
And my first thought when I saw it was Nintendo Switch. That's NX. Like, X can kind of imply like a Switch. But I think what people are going to call it an NS. So you've got your DS and you've got your NS. So like,
oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
That kind of makes them seem like they're more of a family. They have the same last initial.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, the NS and the DS. I didn't think about that. That's a cool way to think about it.
So I think that as far as branding goes, the word Switch seems a little gimmicky, but it's also super simple. And I don't know how the hell someone else hasn't taken that name yet. Something game related.
Yeah.
So they got a hold of it. They've got the domain for it. Like, I wish them luck because that's a good name.
Yeah, and
I like it better than Wii. I like it better than Wii U.
Yeah, I'm saying it's not a made up thing. It's an actual word. It's not a made up thing like Wii, which that was a smart thing for the time, where it's like we're just going to make up a word, like Google, and and just run with it, And it's cool that they kind of went away with that. And now they're using an actual real life word, like Switch. Switch to Nintendo. I see that being
Switch back to Nintendo.
Yeah, I see that being an advertisement.
Make the Switch.
Do you think the little holder, the holder thing that comes with it, do you think that's going to be Amiibo ready? I think that's where you'll scan your Amiibos on it. So
I think it's going to be a tablet because when people are laying their tablets together, I think that was where the NFC was connecting them together.
No, because I was wondering if I thought you might be able to do it on the plastic thing also that comes with the controller, so you could scan it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
you know what I mean. The plastic thing that attaches the two together to create whatever is going to come in the box.
Maybe it's all NFC. Maybe that's how all the different elements are connected together.
Sure,
communicating with each other. Maybe there is no Bluetooth and it's all NFC. I don't know if it works that way. I don't know if you can have because the both the little controllers are wireless. The tablet's wireless. Everything's wireless. Like the Tom Stone. Hopefully, we can put a wired Ethernet connection in.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that to be in the dock. Like when you dock it, that there's some way you can wire internet directly into it. And even if it has a USB, you can use the adapter for the Wii and Wii U, which is what I use for my system. You can just plug that in and then you have it. And that's just any like USB Ethernet adapter will work for it. So
I've never tried that.
Yeah.
Dongle.
I'm wondering if, like what you were saying about the early Zelda videos, like on the other systems, I think that you could easily say that too for this Mario game, where it's just like, here's the Mario game, but maybe this won't be the actual Mario game. You know what I mean?
That's kind of what my point was, because it kind of had a sort of cheesy look to it that I don't know how to describe it other than that, just to say it kind of looked corny, like they hadn't polished it yet.
Oh, sure. I'm sure it's like very, well, I mean, if they want to get it out by March, I don't know what conditions it's in right now, but I'm sure they're working hard on it. But if that could be their launch title, like if they had like Mario Kart, and Splatoon right out of the gate, I think that's a pretty good launch.
One theory I saw
online, Zelda, of course.
One theory online I saw was that may have been a hub world, and maybe, which I think I said in a previous episode, like what if Nintendo brought back the hub world in the Mario games, like a real hub world that you saw for the last time in Sunshine.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be great.
Solve puzzles and get stars and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, that'd be what I'd like to see.
It is possible, maybe. I was onto something with that prediction, and that was like a hub world sort of area we saw.
Well, that's about what our impressions of it so far. I think it looks great. The game looks really cool. I want to know if the games that I want to play that are on other systems are actually going to be on there. Like, I wish they would have shown, like, Dragon Quest Builders, or, like, I don't know, Star Wars Battlefront, or, like, Doom, or Mortal Kombat, or, like, all those games that I actually play on PS4, I would like to see on there. And I wish they would have done more stuff like that. Yeah, it's a big deal that Skyrim's on there, but that's last generation still. I want to know if it can actually handle the new games. That's one of the major questions of it.
Me too, my friend.
But it looks very cool. Good. We're just gonna do a quick one this time on that, just to give you our impressions on it. But I think it looks really cool.
Feel? I don't think we, because I don't think we're like, there's not a lot of excitement in either of our voices. I don't think, because of how much
because how leaky it's been, or how
and how tedious this whole process has been of watching the what the internet is today versus even what it was like when the Wii U was developing. Like, basically just like a constant stream of information and misinformation mostly. So I would say I'm more relieved than excited.
Oh, for sure. No, me too. I'm very happy that I've actually finally seen a thing, and I don't have to see people constantly talking about how it's going to be revealed this week. Like, I feel like they've been doing it for like the past 3 months. People have been like, it's coming out this week. It's going to happen this week. And I'm like, please shut the fuck up. Like, you could just say that all the time, like a couple episodes ago, we had like kind of a joke, a joke NX prediction thing where it's like, I've heard that it's going to be sold in stores, like that type of thing. Just making fun of all of that because it's just annoying. But yeah, I'm relieved that you finally actually got to see some video of it. I hope they do some sort of some direct thing, which they may not do that until next year. But now it's just like, I want more information. I mean, yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
I just need
maybe
to know
just
more
make
stuff.
a website for us with a bunch of info on it.
That would be ideal,
so
right?
One other thing, still no pre-order for the NES Classic. So that's still something that I'm like refreshing Amazon every 5 minutes to check on.
Yeah, that's a bummer too. I'm waiting. Yeah, I made it to where they're supposed to email me also whenever it comes out or whenever it gets
so worried that it's
available
going to go on
pre-order.
sale when I'm really busy at work and I can't get to it and I'm not get it. I wish you could make it automatically order, but you can't do that.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, where it's like
maybe there's some sort of
just get these for
software people have made to where you could do that, which would be awesome.
Yeah, they
it
should.
would also
do that.
suck because people would do that and buy up all the stock.
Well, that could break the internet too. If everybody had that, it might just, I don't know, but it could still break the internet regardless.
So let's hope that we can pre-order that.
I'm hoping for it too. I want to get like 4 of them, but I don't. I hope I can get them for Christmas because I wanted to buy them for Christmas presents for all my nieces and nephews. So I hope I can get them. But if my nieces and nephew are listening to this, spoiler, that's your gift. But yeah, anyway, we get a jet, but we'll be back to talk to you about more stuff. Maybe probably for next week for sure. But anyway, we will see. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. And
oh yeah, and we're Trey Johnson and Jereme Mikowski. We didn't say that earlier, I don't think. But
we decided to switch it up this time around.
We're your hosts. We were too excited about the Switch that we forgot to say our names. And download us, support us however you can, if you can. We have stuff on YouTube also, so watch that and download our show and rate us and email us at NintenDomain.podcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.